Uh, what's up, everyone? Ooh, good evening. Buenos dias. Welcome to another episode of Basement Radio Arcade. Thank you for joining us on this fine Wednesday evening as we get ready to talk video games. I'm actually solo right now, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have any co-hosts this evening. I know Eric Jackson's not feeling well. Eric, hope you feel better, buddy. And I think Slow Mo might make it. I believe. Not sure where B Money is. I think Gaming Forte is supposed to be joining us as well. But anyhow, wanted to go ahead and start the podcast before it got a little bit too late. So it's just me solo for right now. So buenvenidos, everyone, to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Das. So let's see, I've been actually playing Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Das. That's funny. I've actually been playing a little bit of Destiny 2. Got back into that, believe it or not, and picked up the Warmind DLC, and had a good time with it. Enjoyed it so far. It's been pretty good, actually. I have this like love-hate relationship with Destiny. It's like 1 minute, I'm like, this is great. I love Destiny. And the next minute, I'm like, not so much. I don't like it as much. But I'm definitely enjoying the grind again. It's, I guess for me, when I step away from it from a long time and then get back into that grind and trying to get some new gear and stuff, it just it just feels great. I mean, it's just fun. It's just fun kind of grinding it out. So looking forward to getting my level up, hopefully to like 400 at some point. And probably going to pick up, believe it or not, probably going to pick up the next DLC, I think, which comes out in September, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely looking into that as it's going to have. It's going to include a new content plus a season pass. So I figure I'll pick it up and see how it is. Do a little more grinding. Let's see what else. I've also been playing Telltale's Batman: The Evil Within. I think it's called. I played the season 1, and now I'm playing this DLC, and I actually enjoying it. I really, if you haven't played, if you're into narrative driven games with a lot of QTE, then you may want to check this game out. It's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. They definitely, not to spoil it too much for those who haven't played it, but they give you the opportunity to play as he plays Batman, obviously, but Bruce Wayne actually takes on a pretty active role in this game, which is actually really cool, believe it or not, because I've never seen Bruce Wayne in that, like, be as active in a story that way. Maybe he has in other iterations of Batman, the comic books. I'm not aware, but yeah, he definitely takes on more of a role in this game where you play as him, or you can actually choose between tackling different scenarios, either as Batman or as Bruce Wayne. So it's pretty cool. It's been a pretty good game so far. I've definitely enjoyed it. Trying to get, and actually the Batman game I'm playing now, Evil Within, is one of the games that I picked up on the Xbox Live summer sale, which is going on right now. I think it was like $14. So, but I haven't picked up any other games because I'm extremely backlogged, like really backlogged. So sometimes supposed to be a time where you get through your backlog of games. Me, not so much. Haven't had the opportunity to really get into the backlog of games that I have, and I got stuff on the Switch I need to get to. I have stuff on the PlayStation 4 I need to get to. I got games on the Xbox One I need to get to. And then, we're getting to the point where, Spider-Man's coming out in like 52 days or something. So I'll be picking that up. Hey, what's up, Ryan Landis in the live chat? What's going on, bud? Thank you for joining us. Also, you know what I forgot to mention before we started? Forgot to mention that we are an official affiliate of the Inner Circle Game Network. So definitely check out Tick and go down the description. You'll see a link to the Inner Circle Gaming Network website. Definitely check out the website for all your gaming news and reviews. Sam Tolbert writes great articles and really gives some really, really good reviews of new content that comes out. So definitely check out Tick. We're actually really, really excited to be an official affiliate of the Inner Circle Game Network. As many might know, or may not know, B Money's actually one of the OGs for Tick, one of the founders. And so we're happy to have him on as a co-host. So, excuse me. So yeah, I'm just I don't know about you guys, but I'm just really backlogged and looking at trying to get through a lot of these games that I just haven't got through. And No Man's Sky for the Xbox came out today, and apparently runs 1440p, 60 frames a second. You can do performance mode where you can do 4K 60. In order to do that, you do have to restart the game when you select that performance option. But I've heard some interesting things about it. I've heard the game is really very much improved from the early days of No Man's Sky. And I don't know how many of you played No Man's Sky when it first released on the PlayStation 4, but I was actually, believe it or not, I actually picked up No Man's Sky day one, I think it was. I got caught up in the hype on the 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets or whatever the case is, something crazy like that. And the game was just, much like I think with Rare and Sea of Thieves, it just didn't live up to expectations. Released incomplete in a lot of ways. They promised multiplayer that didn't come. I remember, if you guys remember that fiasco about them lying about multiplayer, and two guys actually were on the same planet and were at the same spot but couldn't see each other. So now there's co-op. Now you can play. You fire up the menu. There's an option to play co-op now, and the game seems a lot more fleshed out now. There's rover vehicles. And it seems like there's just more things to do. But I haven't played it yet. It's $50 right now, retailing $50 on the Xbox One X. Includes previous DLC. Now, it is selling for $20 on the PlayStation 4. I think it would have been nice if Hello Games had given the option of $20 for Xbox One owners, but they didn't. We'll see what happens. What's up, T Gameplays? Thank you for joining us this evening. Great to see you in the chat. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to give No Man's Sky No Man's Sky, I almost said chat. No Man's Sky another shot. I didn't really enjoy it when I played it on the PlayStation 4. Seemed cool. The concept seemed cool. But just the repetitive gameplay and mining for resources, it just got a little bit too much for me, and I got tired of it. But it definitely seems a little more fleshed out now, and I hope that some of the feedback or comments that I've seen on Twitter have actually been fairly positive with No Man's Sky and the Xbox release version. So I think that we see games like this. I think it's encouraging that developers listen to the community and really added additional features. My understanding is that No Man's Sky actually kind of has a kind of a tight-knit community now, and the developers have done a lot in terms of making improvements to this game based on a lot of player feedback, and I think that's fantastic. And I think that's I think we may see that with like a game like Sea of Thieves, which would be fantastic because let's face it, Sea of Thieves didn't really launch with a lot of content. You may have heard the Kraken is lacking, things like that. But who knows? I mean, that could be another game where a year from now, we're all like, wow, this game's great. Look how much content Rare has added to it. And they seem to be potentially headed that direction as they release. I think there's some upcoming DLC that's coming out for Sea of Thieves. So there's definitely examples out there, folks, of games that maybe don't launch complete, and developer sticks with it. They continue to invest resources, listening to the gaming community, and voila, you have a better product. So that's not out of the realm of a possibility. But I will say this: I hope this doesn't become a trend. I know we talk about games as a service. I don't want to see situations where, um, developers are releasing titles that necessarily aren't complete or don't have content because they figured, oh, we can fix this later on down the road. I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. I know, with regards to bugs, you can't always catch all the bugs. Some of those things happen after launch where you find them. But I don't want to see a situation where it's the developers aren't releasing content right away and charging, I didn't say you, but us, $60 for something that's lacking in content. So, all right, how to take a drink. Excuse me. I drink a little IPA this evening. So, all right, I don't know where everyone is tonight. So, well, like I said, I know Eric Jackson's not coming. Oh, here's Gaming Forte. What's up, Forte?
Man, no mic. Mic wasn't working.
Oh man, you were having audio issues or
no,
hardware issues.
Yeah, well, if you've seen the post I put on Twitter this morning, that PC build is still happening right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Man, I'd have been to Micro Center 4 times today.
Oh my god! So you're building your own PC then?
Yeah, I'm upgrading from the one that I had already. The only thing that I'm keeping is the graphics card out of the one I'm on right now, and everything else is brand new case, processor, motherboard, everything.
Nice, man.
So
you got like dual whatever GTX 1080 whatever that
diminishing returns. Don't nobody need all that. That's just a show off right there.
Yeah, right. Like who needs all that power?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, Tim the Two Man Taylor will tell you that you need all that power, but you really don't. I mean, it's mostly just because that's called SLI or Crossfire, and it really doesn't work across all games all the time. It's like you get more performance, but it's unstable depending on the game. And then some games and some developers don't take advantage of Crossfire or SLI. So it kind of comes down to you spending extra money for something that you might get better performance in.
So it sounds like going out and buying a Ferrari and just having it there to show off.
Yeah, well, having a Ferrari and living in Michigan.
There you go.
Why you live in Michigan with a Ferrari? There's no roads that you can even use it on.
Wow. Facts.
So, and I live here, so I understand that. So we solo today?
You know what, man? I don't know where B Money is. Eric's actually not feeling well. He's a little under the weather, and Slow-Mo, I think Slow-Mo's scary. He doesn't want to come back on Brad because he knows that I'm going to be, giving him a hard time about the division.
Oh God! Well, he needs to just get over that.
Yeah, he needs to succumb to the fact that Destiny 2 is a better game.
It is. Did you get a chance to play the new mission that just came out?
The Warmind?
No, the Whisper mission for the Black Hammer from Destiny 1.
No, when did that come out today?
No, it was a weekend event. So, man.
No, I didn't play that.
Well, it's going to come back this weekend. So you got another chance on Friday.
Okay.
But it's you got to go to IO and you have to do it's a public event you have to do in one of the areas. And if it pops up as one of those Taken Blight ones, you don't have to do the public event. You just have to find this named enemy that's in the environment somewhere close to that. And if you kill them, he opens up a portal that takes you into like a lost sector, and then you go into this lost sector and find like another blight to like go into this secret area that they opened up. And when I tell you, it is. Did you play when you played Destiny 1? Did you do the original Spindle mission, the one where you had to go off the beaten path to get it and fight the one guy inside the room, and it was on the time limit and stuff?
Oh, I don't remember, man.
Oh man, so it's more.
I might have.
It's that, but man, it's challenging. The jump puzzles will literally make you cry because you have 20 minutes to get through this one mission, and if you don't do it, you have to start all over. And then on top of that, you have to wait for another Taken Blight to show up. It doesn't show up on the Cabal strikes. It's just a Titan one. So sometimes you can be standing there waiting for it for like 30, 40 minutes, waiting for the public event to come up.
Wow.
But man, when it comes up, it was awesome. And so you get the Black Spindle, or they call it the Whisper of the Worm.
Whisper of the Worm.
That's the name of it now. And then they give you, once you beat it, you get a hardcore version of it. And then if you beat the hardcore version of it, you get the catalyst for it, which gives it box breathing, which is it gives it extra damage as you aim down, the longer you hold down sight with it.
What?
Dog, the gun is sick.
I've seen this is what I feel like's been missing in Destiny 2, like these kinds of like this kind of weapon.
Yeah,
I feel like with the first Destiny, like they had so many great like weapons. Like, what was the sniper one that it would generate ammunition by itself?
That's it. Oh, you're talking about the icebreaker?
Yeah, the icebreaker.
Yeah,
and then everyone knows about the Gallowhorn and the famous Gallowhorn that some people. I know people that played thousands of hours and never got. I know people that played like 100 hours and got like 4 of them.
I had 8 of them at one time.
Yeah, I think I had like 2 max. Hey, what's up, B Money?
What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man. We're just talking a little Destiny 2, man. I got back on.
Yeah, man. I saw that, and I went ahead and pick up the expansion for Xbox too, man. I'll be on there
for $20.
Yeah, man. Couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, no, you can't. That's what I did, and B, I'm telling you, man. I had the opportunity. I literally in a week leveled up from. I was like 305, and I'm like at 340 something now.
Yeah.
And the grind is real, man. I had the chance to play with. I did a strike with Xbot 448 and Mooch last night, and man, those guys were like level like 370, 380.
Nice.
And Xbox actually, I think he got the gun that you're talking about because he was talking about that event. So I think he did get it. So, and I think he mentioned that it's coming back this weekend, like you had mentioned, Forte. So, yeah, I gotta get into that, man. And then I gotta do a raid.
Yeah, I did a raid yesterday and today. Pretty awesome.
Nice, man. Yeah, and then B, man, we gotta do some Crucible, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We gotta get back out there, man.
Yeah,
it's been a long time coming, man.
So I can show you my skills, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my goodness. So B, what have you been playing, man? I saw you were on The Witcher earlier tonight.
Yeah. Just trying to finish up the DLCs, man. Played the Blood and Wine like right when it came out. And then, last year was so crazy with games and so much stuff hitting, damn near every month. I kind of like put The Witcher up for a while. So now I'm just trying to get back to it, man. It's the summer of recovery for me. Trying to get back in there, hit the backlog a little bit, and just trying to finish up the DLC before the onslaught of games hits in August and September.
Oh man, the onslaught of games.
That's crazy. It's great. It's crazy to even say that, the onslaught of games. Like, we have so much content that's out now.
Yeah,
like it's insane.
Yeah, man. I was taking a look at it too because like it seems the sports games are coming out earlier and earlier. Like August used to be like, July you would get the NCAA game, and then you have about 45 days, and then Madden would come out like the last week of August, and then you go through September, like early October, 2K would come out. So you had like a bit of a gap before like the game started really picking up before the holiday season, and now like Madden comes out August 10th. So it's like
It's
super
early.
early. It's almost 3 weeks earlier than it was before. 2K comes out like super early, like right around when the Forsaken DLC comes out. 2K comes out. So it's just like, all the games that I would play and, kind of get ready for the holiday onslaught. All those games are coming super early. And now other games are coming earlier. You know what I mean? September is crazy for us this year. So,
jeez, man. Yeah, I can't even imagine, man. It's what this fall holiday is going to be like. For a lot of us, I mean, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane.
It's not gonna be fun. I know that much.
Yeah. So Forte, what are you playing right now, man?
Okay, so I've been on vacation this week, and
all right.
Yeah, I go back. Well, I go back on Saturday. Rip, my vacation almost being over. 2 more days left. But actually, I went in and I was playing Destiny, of course, and honestly, just taking it all in and sitting back, staying away from Twitter, staying away from everything. Sleeping in a lot, going to the gym a lot. That's pretty much what I've been doing. The only other game I've been playing outside of Destiny was I went back and been playing a little bit of Diablo 3 because the season started back up. So I've been doing that. And then honestly, the passion project of building this new PC for the last 3 days has been mostly what's been, I've been doing.
Nice. And I think we talked about this earlier. You had to go back to Micro Center a couple times today.
Okay, so I'll tell you how this happened. So yesterday. Well, okay. So first of all, how this PC build happen? You know how when you're contemplating what you want to do, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I want to upgrade my PC, but I really don't need to, but I kind of want to, and the only thing that's holding me back is the fact that RAM costs as much as it costs right now. I'm like, ugh, $400 for 32 gigs of RAM. That's like the price of a system right there. So I was like, okay, so what am I not using? So I'm not using my. I pre-ordered the Spider-Man PS4. So
nice.
I pre-ordered that. So basically, that just made my PS4 Pro expendable. So I traded it in yesterday. I was like, you know what? I could be without my PS4 for a month and a half. There's nothing on the system I want to play right now. Spider-Man's the next game, so I'll pick it back up when that does. So I traded that in. Got GameStop is doing same as cash right now for all trade-ins. So I was like, bet. So I get the same amount for trade-in as I do for cash. So I traded that in. I traded in my extra Switch. So I had 2 Switches. I traded 1 Switch in. I traded in 9 or 10 of my Switch games. I only kept 3 of them, which was Octopath, Odyssey, and Mario Kart 8, and Zelda. So I kept 4. I traded those in. I traded in pretty much every physical copy of every Xbox game I had.
What?
Every physical. Well, most of my games are all digital. So, like, I traded in, like, what did I trade in? Like Call of Duty, World War II. I traded in.
Hey, Forte, did they have to go to the back safe to get some cash out?
Oh, dude, they had to go. I got to go in the safe.
Yeah.
My trading was like $963 when it was all said and done.
No, they had to go to the bank and make a withdrawal.
So yeah, my trading was that. So then I said, okay, well, I'm taking this to Micro Center, and went to Micro Center yesterday. I bought a 8700K processor. I bought 6 RGB Corsair fans. I bought the Corsair power supply with RGB. I bought a very, very nice motherboard from Asus, the Hero Codex. And then that's what I bought yesterday. And then today I got home and I already had a case, and I looked at the case and I was like, with all this RGB, this case doesn't look like it's going to be good enough. So I went back to Micro Center today to buy a case. So I bought the case, and do you ever know when you go into a store and you see like 2 different things on display that you like? You went in there for the specific purpose to buy the other one, but this other one is staring you in the face, and it looks amazing. It looks gorgeous, but you don't need it. You don't need what this case has. You don't need what this is. So I'm looking at this case, and I'm like, dude, they got it all dressed up with all the RGB lights on it. You can mount the radiator fan on the back of the wall, so the radiator shows the RGB fans facing out of the glass case instead of being on top of your case.
What?
And, dog, it It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
So you got it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
That's what.
Yeah,
No.
I thought the story was better with, I got it. I'm
No,
like,
no, I didn't get that one because I'm looking at the price difference. I'm like, no, dude, I don't need this gigantic case, even though this case does look beautiful. I don't need it. So I went and bought the case I wanted, and it was $159. So I get all the way home. Me and my brother are unboxing the box. We're doing the whole YouTube thing, over exaggerating and taking it out the box, and and he takes it out. And when he takes it out, he looks at it. He was like, and it's the wrong case. I was like, what do you mean it's the wrong case? He was like, this one is black and red, and the one we wanted was all black. And I said, what's the difference? He was like, well, black and red with RGB lights kind of defeats the purpose. You kind of want a solid color so you can make any color you want to. I'm like, that does make sense.
That's true.
So I begrudgingly went back to Micro Center and went to go exchange the case for the case that I wanted, which was the all black and like clear case. But then I made the mistake of walking back over into that section and saw that other case again. And I told them, I said, hey, for the inconvenience of you guys giving me the wrong case, is it possible I can get this case for the same price you gave me this one? The guy was like, done. So I ended up walking out with that case that I just said I was going to buy.
What? Dude, that's huge. Hey, it was the PC gods were working. That was meant to happen.
It was meant to happen. That case, because I really wanted that case more, but I was already, dude, by the time I got to the case, I was already at almost $1,700 spent. And I was like, at that point, I'm like, and I already had the graphics card, because you would only imagine if I didn't have the graphics card, I would have been in like very much over $2,000. So that's why I was penny pitching for that extra $50 because that case was $50 extra. But when he said he'll match it for the inconvenience of them giving me the wrong one, I was like, I'll take that case.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome that worked out.
Yeah, but if you want to see the parts and stuff, I posted it on Twitter. It's on my feed.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man.
And then I'm gonna do a full video of the reveal and stuff of it. It's a nice case. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that, man.
It's fun though, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what you been playing, man?
Well, I started. So I was solo for a little bit in the beginning of the podcast. I was just telling everybody, just grinding Destiny 2 and picked up Telltale Games Batman: The Evil Within. I think it's called.
Yeah, that's the second one, I think.
The second one, yeah. So I bought the first one. I played through that, and I got the second one on sale for $14. And I just been playing that too. I just it's been great. I've enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Y'all out here hunting these gamer scores.
Yeah, right. No, but it's been great. Like I was saying earlier, like it's really cool because not to spoil it for those who haven't played, but you get to really utilize Bruce Wayne a lot as a character, play him as a character, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah,
I haven't played that one yet. I'm still stuck on the next one I'm doing is the Borderlands one.
The Borderlands, gotcha. Yeah,
which I hear is really good.
Yeah, Borderlands is good. If you haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy one, don't waste your time.
I heard it's trash.
Yeah, were you the one garbage?
It's garbage. Absolute garbage.
Slow-mo loves it then.
Garbage.
Well, Slow-mo likes anything that has a gamer score attached to it. They can get in 5 hours.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I thought about picking that up too, B-Money, because I think it's on sale. I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. Somebody said it was garbage.
Yeah,
that was
man.
you though.
Yeah, don't waste your time, man.
All right, I trust you, B. You tend to have good taste in gaming, so I'll stay away from it.
I heard slander, and I had to come.
Hey, you have to come right at the right time, too, baby.
First of all, I'm the one that told you the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale was trash.
I'm the one that played it. You said it was Game of the Year.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. I have to pull the receipts.
You pull the receipts. That game is it's literally the worst Telltale game. And
You did
I
say
played most of them. Only one I haven't played is Minecraft story mode. I'm not going to play it because it's Minecraft. And so all the other ones I played, and Guardians is the worst by far. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Slow-mo
not
here trying to save himself, man. I think he's trying to, fix the receipts that he gave you earlier.
Yeah. Did you Forte, did you hear last week's conversation about well, yeah, you were in the live chat.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we're talking about the Division and Destiny.
Yeah, he was defending it. I believe in him though. I believe in that man. He loves the Division.
So basically, what's going to happen is Enrique is going to owe me a 6-pack of Fat Tire sometime in March.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because y'all did
Yeah.
that what the Division 2 will have a higher Metacritic than Destiny 2.
Yep.
From
what was Destiny 2's Metacritic?
85.
85.
And
the Divisions, they didn't even give a numerical value. They just said garbage.
The Division 1 is 80, which is higher than Destiny 1.
Well, I'm talking about Destiny 2, man. Destiny 1's an old game.
Well, look, we need to, one, Destiny stand, we need to make sure that we are fairly comparing these two games. You're not going to compare Division 1 to Destiny 2 for what? This is essentially going to be an IP, both of them that will have, of course, many more games. And so therefore, you should compare 1 to 1 and 2 to 2. And so Division 2 is about to come out, and you'll see so far from Massive that they're doing everything that Bungie didn't do when it came to Destiny 2. And all gamers should appreciate that.
Well, let's pump the brakes on what Bungie did. Bungie listened to the community, and in that state, they listened to the wrong side of the community for their game. They should have just stuck. They should have just
stuck all those microtransactions. Who asked for the Eververse?
Well, the Eververse was there in Destiny 1.
It wasn't like it is in Destiny 2.
Yeah, it was. It was intrusive then too.
Seriously.
I mean, the only difference is a lot of the ornaments. I get you on the ornaments.
Yeah, and the shaders. The shaders weren't like, yeah.
Nobody asked for that stuff. Nobody asked to have to use shaders, to not have, like, you get a shader and you always have it. No one asks to, like, now I gotta, like, you get a shader for every piece of part in my armor. Now I gotta collect like 6 shaders and save it for that one armor I want to use it for. No one asked for that crap.
Hey, shout out to Chief Tomei. Says, "Oh my God, we're talking about this again."
Hey, look, you guys brought it up. I'm just bringing the heat. You asked for it.
Oh, okay. Look, I just want to say, I just want to give you a little insight to the Division 2. I know somebody who played it at E3 said it was more the same. Garbage.
That for one, the person who said that did not play Division 1. Yes, because I have played, extensively Division 1, and although I haven't played Division 2, there are so many things that are different between both games. There are no longer gear sets anymore. Now they're doing kind of a little bit like how they had with Borderlands 2. I heard you guys talking about Borderlands 2. I love that game. But anyway, Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1 and 2 had like different manufacturers of weapons and gear, and each manufacturer would have like a different attribute or certain attributes, and you just knew if you had that certain company, then it will likely have like elemental effects to it, or it'll be single shot bullets or automatic rifles, things like that. That's where they're going with the gear to kind of make it more balanced, because in Division 1, 2, and this is something I will, because I'm honest, and I'm a very fair gentleman, that the first one did have an imbalance and certain gear sets being way more overpowered than others. And so they fixed that. You see, this is what I'm talking about between Massive and Bungie. Bungie isn't the Bungie of old. This Massive is their newer company, but they try to do their thing. And they saw the feedback from the first game and said, we got to change some of these things. We got to make the Dark Zone a lot less ganky and a lot more fair for PvP. we gotta make the game and the gear sets more balanced. And so instead, I'm sorry, I said gear sets because there's no more gear sets. And all the DLC next year, free.
But we got to remember who these companies, parent company is. One is Ubisoft, who is traditional at making their second game better than the first game.
True.
You can look at all of their history. Any game you go to, Assassin's Creed, you can look at Ghost Recon, you can look at any game that they put out, Watch Dogs. Their second game that they put out in the franchise is always better than the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Activision is the parent company of Destiny. And look what they do with Call of Duty. Look what they do with Blizzard in their partnership and what they've done with Overwatch. You know what I mean? So it's two different parent companies, two different philosophies. And I'm hoping, Division 2 comes out and does great things. I'm a big Tom Clancy fan, so I'm gonna be there day one. But we got to remember two different parent companies, and they have two different mindsets as far as taking care of the consumer. One doesn't care at all, and the other one does. So
look, man, I want Destiny. I want the Division to be great. I love the Division. I had over 100 hours on the Division on PC. I loved every minute I played of it. But we can't sit here and say that the Division was a better game than one of the best-selling IPs ever created. New selling IPs. What was the Division the number one selling IP ever created?
No.
It was the number one selling best selling IP for Ubisoft.
Yeah, for Ubisoft. But what was the number one overall best selling new IP ever?
Destiny.
Well, look, no, okay. Is that really something to brag about?
No.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Forte, I'm about to say something.
I already know what you.
Let me say something real quick. Hold on. So remember when Watch Dogs came out and everybody was like so hyped for Watch Dogs 1, and then they realized the game wasn't as good as the hype said it was?
Because they downgraded the game to oblivion.
Okay, but here's my point. Watch Dogs 2 was a better game, yet sold less because all the hype is the reason why Watch Dogs 1 sold more than Watch Dogs 2. You saying best-selling game, that doesn't mean anything. There are tons of games that sell great and they're trash, and I'm saying Destiny's trash, but I'm trying to make a point here about sales, not actually meaning quality.
But do you hear about Watch Dogs today?
No,
because still talking about it. Do you still hear people talking about Watch Dogs today?
No.
Why not?
Because it's garbage.
Well, the second game. The
second game was really good.
The second game was actually pretty good.
And it was better. Yes.
The second game is much better. But what I will say for Destiny, and being someone who played Destiny 1 almost as much as I played Division 1, that Bungie came back. They brought the game back the way, say, like Rainbow Six Siege started out bad, and that got brought back. So Bungie did a great job in bringing it back. But
so
they killed all that with Destiny 2.
Okay, but once again, let me ask you this, and I don't want to hear I want to put your fanboy side. I want to put it on the sideline for right now. I need your honest answer on this.
Who?
For Division, you are a fanboy.
Y'all fanboys for Destiny. I'm willing.
I accept that, sir. I accept that. Are you going to accept it?
Put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I accept it. So what I need you to do is put your fanboy side down, just like I do, and you tell me Division 2 got announced at E3. They actually had a really big showing. They showed actual gameplay of it. We haven't seen that much of Destiny 2. We've seen a lot of it lately because they just started putting out not the IGN, but the Game Informer stuff. Mm-hmm. So you tell me, which game since E3 has had more buzz around it? Division 2 or Destiny 2? Which one?
It's Destiny 2.
And why is that?
Because there's a whole bunch of fanboys that won't give it up.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. Look,
why can't you say that? Why can't you just say it's a more popular game?
That's all I want you to say.
It's a more popular game, okay, it's more popular because one,
it's a better game.
It has a trademark Bungie
No.
Gunplay,
It's-
which is
Gunplay
always
is
the best in the business. It's
Hold
the
up.
best. It's the best around. It's the best in town. It has that. Now there's that. There's also the fact that Bungie is a long-standing name in this industry. There are people who just
So is Ubisoft.
yeah, but like Ubisoft didn't make The Division. Massive Entertainment made The Division, and who knows Massive? The only game they've made is a Just Dance game in The Division. So I mean, like you comparing resumes, they don't have the following. I mean,
See,
they
that's
got
part
some
of the
people who
problem.
like them now.
That's part of the problem. They had a developer who makes dance games, trying to make an open world FPS.
And it started out rough, but they came back. They're doing good now. Now all I'm saying is give them the same chance we gave Bungie. We gave Bungie another shot. We said, you know what? You turned the Division. You turned Destiny 1 around. So we're gonna give you a shot with Destiny 2. They blew it, but I'm saying this is all I'm saying for Massive. Massive turned the Division around. Let's give them the chance to make the Division 2 everything that the Division 1 was supposed to be. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree, and I believe that's going to happen. I just think the Division 2 on its best day still couldn't be better than Destiny 2.
And that is fanboy talk. You had the audacity. You had the unmitigated gall to come tell me to take my fanboy hat off, and you just said that.
I just gave you my opinion. I didn't say
it's your opinion. Now I have the right to disagree with your trash opinion, which I will.
Oh, wait. Why do you gotta call a man's opinion trash?
Right.
Because that's my opinion of his opinion. I can't have an opinion of his opinion.
You don't have to say his opinion is trash.
Trash. Come on now. Look, man, I'm coming from this is the thing. Can we all agree here? What is the most important thing when it comes to a game? When you want to play, what does Destiny have that Division it has, but it doesn't have as good as Destiny 2?
Gameplay.
Gameplay's king, right? I mean, even slow-mo. You gonna sit here and tell me gameplay ain't king, right?
It's a different kind of gameplay.
That's
a preference thing.
It's a garbage gameplay.
Gameplay, period. If you put both those games side by side and talked about the game, which game this is the thing. Which game does what it wants to do better in the gameplay department?
I would say, as far as PvE, the Division does PvE better. And I will say PvP, Destiny does PvP better.
So what parts of PvE? Well, so what part of PvE and Division you think is better than anything in Destiny 2?
One, the build. Well, okay, there's a couple reasons. One, the builds are more intricate. It takes more to make like a build that is.
Wait, hold on, slow-mo. Before you say something, slow-mo. Mrs. Luca.
She getting a little rowdy.
Yeah, you're getting a little rowdy up in here. Let me tell you something, Luca. Remember, father. We learn from our father. So if we have trash opinions, that's because we're learning them from. I'm not going to say it on the airways, but we're just gonna leave it at that, Dad.
The apple doesn't. You're saying the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Exactly. So, if you're gonna call my opinions trash, Miss Luca, I get it from you.
Hey. By the way, did you guys already talk about the Xbox streaming box?
No, we haven't got to that yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Luca's like, wow. Can't talk a lot of shit when I'm out there to defend myself.
I guarantee you, Enrique will send you a link if you want to get in on this.
God!
If you want to come in, defend yourself, I will. I'll send you a link. You're always welcome to come in here and defend yourself.
Hold on,
or just talk video games.
Let me get my body armor, my bulletproof vest.
He's like, let me call Child Protective Services.
CPS.
Daddy's in the chat, beat me up. She said I didn't know kids automatically like everything their parents do.
Kids are very impressionable at a young age, man.
Kids learn how to interact based on their interaction with the parents.
Okay, now back to you, sir, Mr. Slow-Mo. So you had the mitigated goal to say that PvE in the Division is better than PvE in Destiny, which I would have probably gave you the PvE, the PvP side of it, but even that would have been a fight because I still think PvP is actually PvP in Destiny, and it's this tacked on thing that they added in the Division. But I'm still waiting for a legitimate argument of how PvE is better in Division 2 or just Division period.
Okay. All right. Story missions are better by far. The story makes way more sense. And I didn't need grimoire cards or YouTube videos to understand it.
Okay.
The builds, and this is probably a personal preference of myself. I like the gear sets. I like the different abilities that they give you, and I think the fact that you get 13 different gear sets to choose from that are all very different and all have very different attributes and skills versus just 3 guardians with 3 different powers. I think that's a lot more versatility there. The incursions, there's only 4 of them, but those 4 incursions, one of them is awful, but the other 3 I enjoyed more than the
wrap
raid.
it up, B.
What?
Yes.
Okay. You enjoy what raids did you do, sir?
Oh my
I've
goodness.
done all in Destiny 1. I've done all, but I finished all but the last one.
So you did. So you're basically saying maybe the second best raid, in some people's eyes, the best raid ever. Voted Glass.
Voted Glass is still the best ever.
Voted Glass is awesome. I really enjoyed
Wrath Against the Machines. Wrath Against the Machines raid was pretty epic too. That fight scene at the very end where they added all the new mechanics with the empowering and stuff was really, really good.
I was having fun with that one, even with the whole, the codings part where you got one person standing at a screen calling out numbers and everybody jumping on little boxes. That was cool.
Trying to get the Outbreak Prime.
I don't know what I was with my Destiny friends, and they was they were just like slow mo jump on 2. All right, jumped on 2. But what got me at the end, I was enjoying it until I got to the end, and this I'm not even exaggerating. This literally happened. We beat the boss, and then the game messed up, and apparently it was like some known glitch in the game where we all died. And we actually won, and we all just wiped. And I was
that's happened before.
I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, it's happened before. Yeah, I've had that happen.
I was so mad because I had been up for like 4 hours playing that. I got to the end. I was all celebrating. Then I was dead. And I was like, well, maybe at least, I get the loot, right? And then my boy was like, "Nah, we got started over." I was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm done."
So you said you did that for 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
Tell me the last time you were in the Division and did the same thing over and over and over again for 4 hours and actually wanted to do it.
Okay, yeah. I ran the Lexington mission over and over. Excuse me. And I don't know if it was 4 or 5 hours, but I did that for a while, grinding for the Barrett's chest piece, which was pretty much like the God tier gear to get at that time for the Division. I also let's see. Last Stand PvP. I was grinding to get max level 40 on that. I think I probably played that probably about 6 hours straight, and also the Underground. And getting max level with Underground.
Okay, so I'm not going to get on you, but you named a whole bunch of experiences, just like Destiny has when it comes to strikes and people farming strikes to get certain gears that they.
I named one thing. That was one out of the 3.
No. I'm talking about going into an event with the idea or the thought process that you may not beat it and be willing to stay in there for 5 and 6 hours and knowing that you may not beat this event. So basically your time could be 100% wasted in this event. Everything you just told me
about that like that's a good thing.
No, but it speaks to the fact that if you're willing to do that in a game,
it's called engagement.
That's talking about the engagement and you actually enjoying the game. You're actually enjoying the game enough to say, hey, I can sit here for 8 hours and enjoy this content. And if we don't beat it, no worry. I'll come back and do it tomorrow.
Okay, hey, Forte, got a question for you.
All right, wait. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah, we
do. We gonna wrap it up.
We gotta Forte.
Good 2 minutes. I want to retort, and you go, we gotta wrap it up.
We gotta move. You should have been here on time.
Yeah, there's nothing to retort. I mean, those are facts.
There's clearly something to retort. I have a question for him, and then we can move on.
No, you got 1 minute.
Forte.
Yes.
You played Mass Effect 3, right?
I did.
How did you like it? You loved it, right?
I loved it.
Did you love the ending?
I was indifferent, but I was fine with the ending.
How did the ending affect overall how you felt about the game?
It depends on how you it depends on if you thought the end was the end result or the scenes before the end of the game was the end result. See, I'm different. So when you had that scene before you went up to the Citadel and you had to go through that broken up city and you were able to talk to all of your team members through the holograms.
I mean, I know that's not the ending,
but that was closure for me. A lot of people felt like Mass Effect 3's ending didn't give them closure. I felt in that scene right there, talking to every last one of those party members and getting them telling me how they felt about me and what I did for them and everything that they went through and how gracious and how much they loved it. That was closure for me for a majority big part of the story. Now, the end of the game, they left as a cliffhanger depending on which ending you went with. I actually enjoyed my ending because I felt like I went with the destroy route. And when I tell you, when you go destroy, you have to shoot that the canister. Yeah. I shot that canister one time and it didn't explode. It made me think about it again. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe the game glitched. I didn't know at that time you had to pull it 3 times to make it explode. But my first time doing it, I was like, dude, it made me think about it. It was actually a thought process in my head. I pulled that trigger again. And I was like, no way, dude, am I making the right decision? I literally sat there, called my brother on the phone and said, bro, what decision did you make at the end of Mass Effect 3? He was like, bro, I did the destroy route. I was like, dude, I pulled the trigger twice and nothing happened. He's like, oh, bro. He said, man, just go ahead and do what you're going to do. He didn't tell me what happened. I sat there for like another 10 minutes. I pulled that trigger a third time, and that's when it happened. And when that happened, I was like, I'm satisfied with the ending because I got more out of that 20 minutes of wondering if I should do it than anything that the game could have gave me during that last couple of hours. And that's just my experience.
Well, let me say you were probably the 2% of the people who played that game that enjoyed it. And I think Innate in the chat makes a very good point. And what I was about to say is that he says, y'all are missing the point about most of the issue with that controversy. The producer, Casey Hudson, went on record saying that the ending wouldn't be ABC, and it was literally ABC. And so what I'm saying about the reason why I brought that up is because you talked about how, like, oh, it's engagement. You know, you're doing 4 or 5 hours on the raid, and what if you don't finish? And I'm like, well, I'm bringing that back to like how a lot of people feel about they investing their time in something they really enjoyed all the way up into the point where it didn't work out for them. And that, I don't think that is fun. I don't think my time, which is limited with me being a father and a husband and 3 kids, me spending my time playing games and then I don't finish something, I'm not happy with that. Now, that may be just me. And there are other people who say, hey, you know what? I'll spend all day playing that game, and more power to them. I wish I had that time, but I don't. And so when I don't have that time, I would like to actually finish stuff. So the incursions in the division, I can do an incursion in an hour and a half, complete it, get the gear, I'm good.
All right.
So how do you feel about the 8-man raids in Division 2?
I don't know anything more about it than that it's an 8-man raid. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if they're going to do it more like Destiny, or they're going to do it's like maybe they're trying to like take some gaming mechanics aspects from something like World of Warcraft. I don't know. 8-man raid. I mean, it could be like they may be trying to do it more like Warframe. I don't know. When I know more information, then cool. I like the fact there's 8 people in it. So to me, that tells me there's going to be a lot of like their last incursion, Lost Signal, where it was a lot of teamwork in it, which is what you see a lot in the Destiny raids as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be more about. But I mean, until I know more, I'm not going to say it's going to be the bee's knees.
So we need to move on from this conversation because we didn't beat this conversation into the ground. But the last thing I'll tell you is this: Slow-mo.
Yeah.
Division is not a bad game. It's a good game. I like that game. But like you just said, you want to be compensated for the time you put into the game. But there is something to be said about a person, even you, that would sit in a raid for 5-6 hours with the understanding that you may not finish it. And then, yes, you will be. I've been many times I've been upset because I didn't finish something because I felt like I wasted my time. But guess what I did the next day? I went right back to that game and did it all over again. And if you can sit here and tell me you didn't do the same thing, you're lying through your teeth because everybody did the same thing in Destiny 1 and they're still doing it in Destiny 2. And that's it.
That's it. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Thank you, gentlemen, for those points made. And I just want to say that Forte, you made the best points out of the conversation about Destiny, and
well, you're clearly impartial.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be, it's impartial, but
move on.
Moving on.
Next up.
All right. So we got some big Xbox news. I'm sure everyone knows this now. This thing's been talked to death already. It's, I guess, the cat's out of the bag now. Microsoft's working. So we know Microsoft's working on the next Xbox and Project Scarlet. But apparently they're also working on a cloud platform for the next Xbox. I think it's funny, like when this came out, and I think this was reported by what's his name? God, what's that guy's name? The Microsoft website. It's like a news website. Thurrott.
Oh yeah, Peter Thurrott.
Yeah. So I think he's the one that I think first talked about this story, or broke the story about this streaming box designed to work with Microsoft's new cloud platform service. They're calling it Scarlet Cloud. And essentially, this is going to be the platform's meant to offer a game streaming service in lieu of utilizing traditional game console. They're saying that the console is going to utilize local computing power to handle collision detection, image processing, and other aspects to take on some of the heavy lifting from the streaming service, while featuring small amount of computing power capable of handling tasks and whatnot from the cloud. So it's going to be cheaper. I know Slow-mo, it's going to be cheaper than a standard console. Slow-mo, you were, I think, throwing out, you thought it might be about $100-$150 roughly.
Yeah, well, initially, before I read what I think some guy named Sam's has said, but initially I thought it was like, okay, this is going to be like $200. That's what I thought it would come out as. But
is he the one that said it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio?
Yeah, as far as games, so like what they're saying is that any games that come out on the next Xbox, the traditional, your typical console, that's going to be very much like a PS5. Any games that come out on that will also be available to play on this Scarlet Cloud streaming box.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're talking, the price they're talking was like $99 to $125, which shocked me. Because I'm like, what? But something that would be pretty much a brand new kind of thing in the gaming industry to have that kind of platform to come out at that price point, that's pretty bold.
Yeah, that is pretty bold. I mean, that's kind of that's aggressive. Look, 1-to-1s, and I'm not sure. Look, I don't want to say it's not possible, but I got to see this thing. I gotta see it. I gotta see how this thing's gonna work. But it's interesting. Like some people are freaking out about this too. Like they can't believe that Microsoft's gonna put out a device that's gonna stream gaming. And I'm like, look, like if you don't want it, they're still gonna offer a traditional console.
Yep.
But it's just, I think, look, Microsoft, to their credit, they've always kind of been ahead of the puck or know where the puck's heading in terms of technology and gaming. I mean, we saw that with the OG Xbox with the inclusion of, internal hard drive, Ethernet port in the back. Remember, they caught a lot of flack for that. If you guys remember when the OG Xbox was announced, Microsoft caught hell for including an Ethernet port because at the time, I mean, broadband cable wasn't a broadband internet, I should say, isn't what it was back in 2001, what it is today.
Yeah.
So
I just saw something in the chat, and Nate says that data caps will kill it even if you have the speed, which interesting. Because there are areas where people have the speed to be able to handle the streaming, yet have data caps. I know it, like in the area that I live, and me and Enrique live, all the ISPs in this area, and this is the Washington D.C. area and Maryland and Northern Virginia area. There are no data caps for any of the ISPs around here. I think it is.
I thought Comcast has data caps here in the area.
They don't.
I think they do.
Yes, they do. They got to, because I got data caps and I got Comcast.
But you're Comcast in a different area though. Comcast around here, and it's the same company, but then it's different regions. They like the same company will treat different users, differently in different areas.
Really?
My buddy works for Comcast, and he told me there's no data caps for us around here.
I could have sworn there. I you could be right, man. I mean, I could have sworn there was data caps for even Comcast.
And for me personally, I have Verizon.
I do too.
And Verizon Fios, I get 100 upload and download. And so I have no issues. I've never had data cap, and I know my house is burning through gigs.
Yeah,
we stream DAG on there, everything. So
I don't have data caps either.
Yeah,
but do you guys think that ISPs would change that if streaming games becomes like a big feature in the near future?
I think so.
Yeah, especially with net neutrality being gone. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. And Microsoft and Google and they've been fighting against this, but when Verizon appoints, I'm going to say Verizon appointed the head of the FCC, because before he was head of the FCC, he was a Verizon lobbyist. So they got the inside track here. They're going to do whatever they want. And I mean, even in our area, me and Enrique talk about how we don't have data caps. We could have data caps in 2 years from now. You don't know. Because there's no one to really. The government's not going to stop them. It's like the Wild Wild West now. So,
yeah, it's just interesting. Like that, I think that brings up an interesting. I mean, I think it's a real issue. I mean, it's something that people need to think about. I mean, are we going to have to pay like different tiers to have access to entertainment now? I mean, I think that's a real possibility.
Oh, by the way, Chief in the chat said PlayStation had a stream box, right? How'd that go? They didn't have a stream box. They had PS TV, which it's not necessarily a stream box. I have one. I actually have one literally right beside me. It's in my office with me. And that's what if this new Scarlet Cloud thing comes out, I'm probably gonna put it in my office so that when I'm working from home or quote unquote, working from home, I can be gaming too.
Yeah.
But
the difference between that PSTV was video on demand, basically video streaming, which pretty much everybody can do. I mean, if you could do Netflix, you could do that. We're talking about games and latency issues and stuff like that, and that's what the biggest difference is that we're having here. And if you want to have any type of inklings of what that's like, go download. If you got a PlayStation, go download PS Now, do the 7-day free trial, and see how those games play.
Yeah, and those are older games. They're PS3 games. It's from what I haven't used PS Now, but from what I have seen of it, it's resolution is capped at 720p. It's not going to be, it's streaming, but it's not going to be as demanding as the streaming would be with the Scarlet Cloud streaming new games, brand new games that everyone's playing that are coming out, 2020.
Next gen at 4K would take a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm so B, let me ask you something, B, since you bring up 4K, like this is like what I don't understand the technology in full. I'm not a network engineer. My understanding is that obviously there's a slice of the game that's going to run locally, and the rest is going to be, I guess, downloaded, from the cloud to whatever, streaming devices is. Yeah, how much bandwidth is that going to take, though? I mean, that's got to be a lot of bandwidth, right?
Yeah, it's like, when you try to squeeze like a cheese grater, you know what I mean? You got a block of cheese and you're grating it through these small holes, and the bigger the cheese, the more grades it takes. So, you know what I mean? When you look at 4K content, it's a large amount of content trying to go through a small hole. So you have to increase the bandwidth to be able to accept, the 4K content and see it in the vision that they, are telling you that you're going to receive it. So it's going to be very interesting, and that's why I asked about the ISPs and if you guys think that they would actually change the data caps, because that's going to affect a lot of people, especially if that's their only source of gaming. You know what I mean? Because that'll be the cheapest route, probably. You know what I mean? With them probably saying it's going to be around 100, $150. A lot of people would pick that up and go after that. But the counter to that would be the ISPs kind of doubling down on it and capitalizing on you using that content and you know what I mean, just overcharging you to access that content every month.
Well, what they'll probably do is they'll have like plans, especially if this really takes off. They'll probably have like bundle plans where they'll have something like, hey, Xbox Live streaming, pay $5 or $10 extra a month to get unlimited streaming to that. So they can go a whole bunch of different ways with it. I definitely think that is going to be something that does happen. And I really think that $100 price tag, if not lower, is going to bring a lot of people, or not even bring a lot of people, but just get a lot of people interested in what Microsoft is doing with it. I mean, just think about, how Roku sells and how Fire TVs and stuff like that sell, Amazon sticks and stuff like that. If Microsoft can get into that marketplace, I think I will probably own one, even though I would still have the traditional system too. But to have something like that in a separate room outside of my game room, or I can take to go and actually have like in a hotel room, or something I could just plug up to a TV no matter where I'm at, I think that's going to be real beneficial to a lot of people. And I think it's going to be a lot of double dipping on that if they actually do solve the latency problem, that is going to be the one thing they need to solve.
Right. And that's what I said too. I think I would definitely pick it up, and it'd probably be something I use for travel, you know what I mean, or put it in a second room or something like that. The cost is definitely more inviting, you know what I mean, if it's lower cost. And like you said, if it gets as popular as like a Fire Stick or a Roku device, then, you know what I mean, sky's the limit for them. You know what I mean? People would definitely be more interested in that.
Now, the question is this. What do you think they should – do you think this is going to be part of some type of subscription service that Microsoft is going to have? Do you think it's going to be tied to like your Xbox Live account? Is it going to be something like Game Pass? Like if you subscribe to Game Pass, you're pretty much subscribed to the streaming network too?
And yeah, I think that's the biggest question is we really don't know what the subscription is going to look like, because I'm sure it's going to be a subscription for them. That's a way for them to increase their service, you know what I mean, revenue. And it could be, strictly Game Pass content, but with the reports coming out saying that basically every game that comes out on Scarlet is available there, I think it'll be bigger than Game Pass. And I think behind the scenes, Microsoft is probably working really hard to get more publishers and the bigger names on board with Game Pass. And maybe there'll be a combination of both of that. because I think, if you go into just a base subscription similar to, like a Netflix and things like that, I think it's very hard to get brand new content there like day one. And I think that's was one of the struggles that we saw with PlayStation Now. You pay a subscription, but then you get in there and all the games cost different prices to have access to them. You know what I mean? And these are older games, so it's kind of mind-boggling to think that you could pick up this device, pay $10 a month or whatever, and get access to the new Madden day one, or like the new, 2K or whatever the case, Battlefield, Destiny, day one, and not have to go out to the store and spend your $60. At that point, then what are we really doing to the other portion of Microsoft's business? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's something I hadn't thought about yet, that if there was like a different subscription that came with getting this Scarlet Cloud box, that's a little less appealing to me. I think the price point that is rumored, the $99 to $125, is perfect, because this is something that is, as far for the hardcore gamers, you got your old school guys, your get off my lawn guys that are really like, I'm not down with this. Streaming games, no. So they already know there are a lot of, they're hardcore.
It's the future.
Yeah, it's the future, but there's people who are always going to, like, there are people who don't want to, they like the physical games. They're not going to buy digital. And so you want to remove barriers for people to give it a shot. And that kind of price point says, you know what? I mean, that's just only a little bit more than a full price game. And honestly, with season passes and DLC and whatnot, we may spend just as much on one game than you would purchase, this one device. So it's something to, at that price point. I know when I heard it, I was like, yeah, I'll give that a shot. That sounds good to me. Even if I don't end up liking it, or I think it just wasn't that good a device, but it's just $100. And I know for some people, just $100 is, it depends, but for me, I think that's it's so much cheaper than what the competition is doing. Why not see if you like it? And I think they know fully that, there are areas of this country that this may not be conducive for, and they're trying in this next 2 years to get it to the point where they think they'll be able to do everything server side. And on the client side, as it's kind of stated in networking terms, everything on the client side is just the button presses and that stuff being transferred back and forth over the net. Now, me personally, as a network engineer, I don't see how this works, but I don't work on cloud.
The power of cloud, man.
It's
Scarlet Cloud, I might add. It's not just a cloud; it's Scarlet Cloud. It's a big deal.
And there are people who have some of these game streaming services on PC, and they say
latency's an issue.
Huh?
Latency's an issue.
Well, I mean, I've spoken to some people, and I can't remember the name of the service. I think it was Hardhead that was talking about how he has some game streaming service on his PC, and the latency is very, very low, but the adoption rate of it isn't very high. So I'm putting my networking hat on again, like I'm at work. I'm worried about load. I'm worried about bandwidth. I mean, when it's one thing for some small game streaming service that just PC gamers and only some PC gamers use, and everything's great. Yeah, I think that is it. Can't the NVIDIA Shield. Thanks, Williams. But when Microsoft does it, when you're a big platform holder who, this gen has 40 million people who have purchased your system, and you got like however million people subscribe to Xbox Live, that amount of bandwidth that you need to be able to have that much data going on server side. I mean, I need to see that to believe that.
They're going to have stacks, man. It's going to be stacks on stacks on stacks. That's what it's going to be. I mean, they said in the article it's going to be like these stacks of service they're building. It's like an all hands on deck approach right now with them. So you got to imagine they're going to have these. I mean, massive warehouses of. Go ahead, B.
No, but that's where it kind of has me thinking that this is more. It could be more of a companion device. You know what I mean, to the Scarlet,
like a compliment.
Yeah. So like, you know what I mean, if it doesn't have a separate subscription, then you know what I mean, all your content that you purchase digitally, is available to stream. You know what I mean, on this cloud thing.
And B, I don't mean to cut you off, but me personally, I don't want another subscription from Microsoft. I think their services are very good, but at this point, it's a little bit of like subscription overload. You got Xbox Live, you pay $10 for this. Pass. Look, something's gotta give.
But what if it was like Netflix though? What if it was like a Netflix type situation where you have access to content on the fly? You can play games on your mobile phone. You can play games, you know, on your TV upstairs using the X Cloud. And what if it's just an extra $10?
Well, look, if I'm already paying for Game Pass and I'm already paying you, but Microsoft $60 for Xbox Live, when
you can pay me, you might not get any content, but you can pay me.
And I'm like, but if you're already paying for this stuff on a monthly or annual basis, I cannot see anyone wanting to pay.
So I heard someone talking shit. I heard someone talking real tough when I wasn't here.
I'll talk. Wait, just because you're here don't mean I'm gonna change my tone.
Oh yeah, let's see how long this tough guy act lasts. You know, you're surrounded by your bros, so maybe you feel like you're puffing your chest out a little bit. But
wait, we can go over. Wait, we can leave here and go straight to your channel. We can do a hashing out right then and there. We don't have to have no guests. No eyes have to be on it.
Yeah, I don't like. What would we talk about?
All right, whatever you want to talk about.
I think you just want to get on my channel because you want to spend time with me. I get it, Forte. I understand. You want to hang out with Dad. I get it.
Luca, I always want to hang out with you, dear. Everybody knows that. So, you know, that's not a problem.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, you got something else you want
At least one of my sons loves me, Slow-Mo.
Yes,
I know
was the rebellious one.
I am not condoning this stuff here. This son talk. This craziness. I don't. Yeah, Forte is your child, and Villain is the adopted one, and Nimbus is the one that we just don't speak of that y'all keep in the basement. So all of them your kids. Those are your kids.
Oh my goodness.
And that makes Erica your grandma.
Hey, Forte, are you driving right now, man? Hello?
I'm outside. Yeah, I'm outside.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you, man.
Yeah, you sound like you're like really far away.
Yeah, it sounds like you're far away, like you're driving in a car.
Yeah, I had to go outside to get something for my wife before she killed me.
She gave you that look. You're like, oh, I gotta go. Switching to mobile.
But now, I don't think. I think if they added a subscription on top of this, like this device will not work unless you get this other subscription. I think that would be a very big mistake. That's like adding a barrier to entry. I think if you have a new kind of device and you think it's great and you solve the latency issue, but you're going to have a problem getting people to just give it a shot. I think you need to not add barriers to this. And I think casuals will jump on it because it's cheap. But
so what do you think they offer then if there's no subscription?
I think it'll work. It'll be like when you start playing it. It's like I think they want to have it where it's like you're looking at your whatever new Xbox interface, the same UI.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I assumed it was. But again, like we're all speculating here, so we haven't had any details. But that's what I looked at. It just basically is just like your Xbox, but it's a small device. You don't have a disk drive, and everything is streamed.
So you paying for the streaming content instead of a subscription?
No. Okay, see, I think it would be like linked to your account. So let's say.
So you think it's just more of a companion device instead of a standalone thing?
No. I think it still could be a standalone thing. It's just that, let's say, all right, so for instance, you know how like you go on your Xbox and you go to the Microsoft store, you buy a game digital. It will be just like that. You bought a game digital, but on that device, the only way you can play it is if it's streamed.
Right.
Like,
so
there's no downloading. It's just like I purchased it, and then it goes from, instead of saying download or install, it just goes play.
Starts to stream. Okay.
Yeah, and then you just play, and now you're streaming that game. That's what I envisioned it to be, and I think that's a great idea if they implement that. Now, if they say, hey, here's the game, you purchase the game, but to stream it, there's like you gotta pay like $6-7 a month. I'm out at that point because I don't. That's not what I want. And for me, it would be like you said you would do. If I'm going out of town, I'll bring it with me. If I'm traveling, I'll take it with me because then it's like something I imagine it's going to be small because it's not going to need a drive to it. And then, or for me personally, I'm gonna put it in my office where. My Xbox is in a different room with my big old 4K TV. In my office, I got a little gaming monitor that's 27 inches. I got my 2 dual monitors on the other side. So, I can play whenever I feel like it. Like that kind of deal. I don't think it's something, for me, it's a companion device. But it could be a main thing for someone else. And I think they need to think about that.
Right.
Yeah.
All of this is speculation, folks.
Super speculation.
Yeah, super speculation. We don't even know how this thing. I'm still wondering if this thing's going to be 1-to-1 like they claim. If they do that, that's some freaking wizardry, man.
Yeah, but the reason I asked is because like Camden Williams brought it up. Like paying $60 for a game to stream might be a bigger obstacle than just paying the $10 a month.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
I can see that.
Are you're paying $10 a month and you can just stream everything that Xbox has available?
But let's just say the Game Pass. Let's just say Game Pass, right?
Yeah,
you pay $10 a month for that.
Yeah.
So like if you had access to a store similar to Game Pass, you know what I mean, where you get these 100 games for the $10 a month. So that's where I think they could be more flexible, where they can, you know what I mean, exchange games in and out like whenever, and you can just pay your $10 a month and be cool with streaming it because you have access to it whenever you want to. You don't have to download anything. You know what I mean? It's instant access.
Yeah.
If you pay $60 a month, or you pay $6 for like one game on a streaming device, you may have a second thought about getting your second game. I think the Game Pass model is very inviting to a lot of people who are just like not even like really into gaming. Like if you're gonna sell the box for $100, $150, you're trying to invite the casual gamer to come to your platform.
Absolutely.
So if they pick that up and then they realize like, oh, I saved a couple bucks, you know what I mean, because I didn't have to buy the console, but I still got to pay $60 for to play Destiny. Then that may be a bigger obstacle than just saying like, hey, you paid $100, you give us $100 a year, and you have access to this amount of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I totally feel that. I just kind of feel like I think it should just be no different than the traditional console. Like you have access to all the services that the traditional console has access to. You just don't have. You just can't do physical games, and you can't download those games. So Game Pass was still, as long as Game Pass is still something they're doing in 2020. I think that it should be like you can purchase a game or you can do Game Pass, however you want to do it. And I think whatever the options in the GUI and the UI that you have with the next console will be available on your stream box.
Right. And I'm right there with you. You know what I mean? Because I mean we own the console now. You know what I mean? We've always followed that model. I'm just saying from the inside or the outside looking in, like if I didn't have a console, like the $100 price point as far as the entry is concerned would be super appealing to me. And then if I got home and it was like, oh, I still gotta buy games, they're just streamed, that might off put me a little bit more than just saying like you can get this subscription and pay $100 a year or whatever and have access to this content.
Let me ask something. I kind of agree with you because I think what Phil Spencer said, they kind of want to make a Netflix of gaming, and that would kind of buck what people I think are used to when they think of streaming entertainment anyway, for the most part. Because Netflix, Amazon Prime, those are all subscription-based services. You're getting content with that. You're paying just like with cable. You're paying $14 a month for HBO. You get content with that that monthly price. So I don't see I think a $60 thing would be per game, and then the stream would be a tough sell for people. I think it'd be much. I think people would probably adopt it as better if it was more of a Netflix type of service, which I think it's going to be. I mean, that's just my personal take on it. I think that's where Microsoft's heading. I think that's eventually where the gaming industry is going to head. I've seen people say, I want physical. I don't want to stream games. I think, that's great, but I think in 10 years from now, we're going to be at a point where you're probably streaming content.
Oh yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think in 10 years, we won't see many collector's editions like we see now.
No,
with all these crazy content, we won't see a lot of physical media. It'll go the way of the compact disc and a lot of the.
Jeez, man, you just brought up compact disc, man. CDs, wow.
Yeah. It'll go that way. I mean, Best Buy, even their DVD selection, their Blu-ray selection is smaller than it was 5 years ago. And I think, we'll see the same things with physical media and gaming. You can't go to the store and buy a PC game. Physically. So
you can't buy PC games physically anymore. And for those of us who grew up at that time, you remember like the PC games came in those like big boxes.
Yeah.
Giant boxes.
Giant boxes.
Like boxes so big that it was like, why is this box so big?
They were like books.
Remember the Diablo 2 box, man?
Yes. Hey, the Diablo 2 boxes were hot,
man. Like
they were hot. Those collector boxes are hot, though. I will say.
Yeah, those Diablo boxes were hot, though.
Yeah.
So my thought on this whole thing is, you guys all made some really, really good points. And as you can see, I'm not outside anymore.
Wait, 14. Are you okay, though? I want to make sure the wife is not angry.
Oh, wife's fine.
Okay,
wife's fine.
Good.
I got to worry more about Luca right now than I do about my wife.
Luca's making a sandwich. She stepped away for a little bit.
Good. So, Luca, I don't love you.
Oh,
moving on.
She's not here to hear that, but that's all right.
I know, that's why I said it. She know I don't mean it. So
she's probably listening.
So my thought process on this is everything that they are doing sounds good if it's in theory, because we don't know if this is all real or true or whatever. It could be fake news, all we know. But it really just comes down to this for Microsoft. Messaging and marketing is going to be thing that helps this the most.
Boy.
If the one thing we all know Microsoft's marketing and messaging.
That's what I'm saying. Oh boy,
this generation has been piss poor trash.
This generation.
Well, dude, 360 generation, they marketed their games and their stuff.
Yeah, they did.
They marketed. They marketed that stuff. There's a reason Halo broke all types of records for a game that was sold on one system, because they had that thing all over the place. But that is going to be the key to this streaming machine. The marketing is going to be key, but the more important thing is the messaging they put behind it. They have to have pristine confidence in letting people know what they are getting. If this is going to be something that, I was just thinking like, how you can actually stream your Xbox games from your Xbox One to your PC, and it's like literally zero latency. What if they came out with a way to actually have an external hard drive that plugged up to your stream box, or an external hard drive that plugs up to something that allows you to take your games you had digitally and be able to stream them across your own network? Instead of it being from a data center network, you actually stream them across a network that you already have in your house. That's something that they could definitely do. Like if you have a PC that allows you to stream those games, independently of having the system and stuff like that, and you can use their little box to stream it to any TV in your house, pretty much like how they do with the Steam Link, what they do with that, which actually works really well if you're in the same household. I think Microsoft's going bigger than that, but I'm just thinking of the short-term solutions that they can have, because I don't think anytime soon within the next 2 years infrastructure is going to get better than it is right now. Now, I do have a video that's going up. I haven't posted it yet, but it talks about the one thing is there's millions upon millions of people that don't have great internet service in certain rural areas of the United States and even different other countries. But for all those people that don't have it, there's also millions upon millions upon millions of people that do have it, and those are the ones that are going to adopt something like this. And if the messaging isn't super clear, Microsoft is going to lose a lot of people on this one, because I think I don't think this is going to be doom and gloom for them, because I think the fact that they're giving everybody a traditional option, saying that you can go out and buy the traditional system, that's the best thing they can do, because if this streaming side fails, at least people have another option to go with. And
they're going to have another option. I mean, that's that much is clear. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that they need to do. I just think overall, temper your expectations, and people, when you're out here having these conversations, don't forget about the other side of the argument. People keep talking about how this can fail and how this isn't going to work, but they keep forgetting that, hey, there will be a traditional option. That's all that really matters in the end.
I don't think this is going. This is my opinion. I don't think this is going to fail. I'm not convinced yet, though, that you're going to have console-like experience in a 1-on-1. Like that guy said, I forget his name now. Slow-mo.
Sam's.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, that's something I would see. Seeing is believing for me in that case. But I don't think this thing's going to fail. I think that, like I said, 10 years from now, I don't think we're not going to have traditional consoles. We're going to have these streaming devices, these set-top boxes, because look, frankly speaking, I think that's where technology is heading. I think Microsoft is kind of ahead of the game. They know that, look, if they don't do it, Google's going to come in and do it. Google's already looking at trying to get into the video game industry.
But that's the thing. But of all the systems and all the platform holders, which one do you think has the best chance of making this work?
I think Microsoft does,
and that's what I think too, because they have a software background.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, they're a technology company. This is their stronghold,
their wheelhouse. Yeah.
And they have experience in this industry already. Google doesn't. Google's going to make your typical mistakes and thinking that this gaming industry is no different than any other industry.
Well, I don't know about that, Slow-mo, because people said the same thing about Microsoft, and look, they came in and outsold, the Nintendo.
Yeah, but they made mistakes too. Like, I think they made a lot of mistakes with the original Xbox, although I enjoyed the hell out of it. But I think they cut support for it way too soon when they went to the 360.
Well, they did that because they wanted to get ahead of Sony. They wanted to kind of get their and look, that move that paid dividends for them. I mean, it's one of the reasons why
they were adopted so much. Adopted so much because they came out that year ahead. You know what I mean? It was the first next gen system. You know what I mean? We made this big jump and everybody was talking about it. So everybody picked it up. And even through the red ring of death, people stayed true.
Yeah, they did.
Stayed all the way damn near to the end. You know what I mean? So.
I agree with that. Well, one thing I did want to say about Forte's suggestion about downloading it to like a almost like a server on your own network and then being able to stream it from there. That's kind of how PSTV works. PSTV, what it does, a portion of it, what it can do. Now, normally on its own, it will play Vita and PS2, not PS3, PS2 games, but it has a link option where it can link to your PS4, and essentially what it does, it turns your PS4 on, and you can operate your PS4 through Wi-Fi or through whatever direct link, direct Ethernet link. However, as long as you're on the same LAN subnet, it will link up with your PS4. It's essentially like you're playing your PS4 from the PSTV, and that's already being done. And I think the reason why PSTV failed is because Sony didn't really support it very well.
Well, that's also because TV's dying. Let's not get that twisted.
I didn't hear you say again.
I said also TV is dying. Traditional streaming TV and TV just in general is going the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Everything right now you could just like when my contract with Comcast is up, the only thing I'm paying for is internet. There's no, I mean, I can get everything. When I want to watch Game of Thrones, I can get it a la carte through HBO. I also know people that pay for all those different services, and I can just get email and passwords from family members and stream that same stuff that they get. You know, at this point, it's just like Xbox Live. If you're paying full price for Xbox Live, you're crazy. I feel that way. And I feel like TV's going the same way. If you're paying full price for traditional TV, you know, most of us don't even get a chance to watch it as it is because we're better off playing games than doing that.
Well, and there's something to say for like, it's funny, like we talk about this in my house, like cutting the cord because, you know, the only reason we have cable is because of, you know, our kids, you know, kids watch like Nick Jr. or Nickelodeon. That's the only reason we have it. If we didn't have it, we probably cut the cord because, you know, the convenience of Netflix and Amazon Prime, we can just, you know, watch what we want to watch when we want to watch it.
Do you know you can get that all on Roku now? You can get like Nick Jr. and everything and pay like a subscription fee for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found that out on my door when I was because Comcast has a Comcast app on Roku, and my daughter doesn't have a box in the room. So I was like, oh well, I can just hook up, you know, the Comcast app and download, you know, that, and she can still see everything that's on the regular boxes.
Yeah.
But as I was going through it, I saw that you can get subscription services to like Nick TV, Nick Jr., all those different channels, and it's like $5 or $6 a month. And then, yeah, like you say, they do add up, but you're coming nowhere near close to what they want to have you pay for traditional cable with all those same channels.
Yeah,
here's something that you have to
ESPN does it now. ESPN for $5 a month, I can have, and all I watch is ESPN. I can have ESPN every show that they have for $5 a month and still get all of their different, all the football games that come on ESPN. I can have all of that. You don't have to have a subscription service. I mean, have cable anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why I keep my cable is for sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Because using say like the whole using the regular TV channels with not satellite but a digital antenna. It's depending on where you are and where, like, say if you got a lot of trees nearby, the signal can be really crappy. Trying to watch, you know, like say for me, NFL football, NBA basketball, that's really difficult. One thing I did want to say is that these ISPs aren't dumb. They know people. Once people start cutting the cord in droves, they started switching their pricing up. So now they're making, if you just want internet from them, they're making it more expensive than if you put it in a package. So like I tried to cut the cord last year, and initially I went with PS View to see if I could like kind of get PS View and watch, because I found out I could watch like local TV and be able to watch sports through it. Back then PS View wasn't that good, so it didn't work out for me. But I was contacted Verizon, and I said, all right, I'm going to turn off. I got the triple play, what they call it, which is like the TV, your phone, internet. And I was like, I want to get rid of the TV and the phone. And they told me what the price was for the internet, and I was like, hold up, that's like $10 more than what I pay for all three. And that's when they told me, oh well, you know, there is no set price for your internet. And it's because they know how much you pay, and they know why you're getting rid of those services. So they're going to say, well, look, your internet price is whatever we say it is. And if you pay $110 a month and you're going to get rid of that stuff, then all right, so your internet's $120. And so I said, well, I might as well just keep it for now.
The best thing you do is when you cancel and go to a different service, and then you come back. That's the one thing I always learned. Whenever you cancel a service, they will, like you said, they'll lowball you because you can't get those new customer prices when you're already a customer. And those are the only prices they promote on their website. They don't really promote the real price. Yeah. So like when my contract is up, I'm canceling my cable. Well, I'm switching over to, we have a carrier called Wow that's in my area.
Yeah, that's who I have.
Yep, I'm switching over to them because they have unlimited data cap. They don't have data caps, and I'm gonna switch to them, and I'm gonna run with them until whatever contract is up with them. Then I'll switch back to Comcast because then I'll be able to get those new customer prices, and that's the only way to really beat the system when it comes to that. Because I remember when my contract ended 2 years ago with Comcast, my cable bill jumped from $220 to almost $357.
What?
Because as soon as you come out of contract, they expect you to re-up again, and the reason they want you to do it is because they're going to inflate your bill again because you don't get that locked into your price anymore.
Yeah, and maybe that's what I should do, like, because I have my choices outside of like satellite, which I would never ever do again. But my choices are basically Verizon and Comcast. And Verizon is head and shoulders better than Comcast in my areas.
Fios is so much better.
And so that's why I haven't gone to. I was like, I could just go to Comcast, just get the internet, turn off the Verizon, and then I got all my other streaming services, and I'm saving money. But now I was just like,
okay, continue. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. but then I'm like oh, good grief.
You got him shook, Luca. He can't even think.
I know, right? just mess up my train of thought. But just I'm sorry, going to Comcast is such a downgrade in service in my area. And this is even coming out, like I said, I have a friend who works for them. I mean, he's just like, nah, I mean, I only use them because I get it for free. I'm like, what? he even admits Verizon's better. So
no, it is, man. It's I've had both, man. It's so much better.
Yeah.
So. I will say this though, the Comcast for their cable TV, their dashboard, their UI is actually a lot more intuitive, though.
Oh, it is very much.
Yeah, than Fios.
Verizon is just who designed that.
I don't know. And now you can do like voice chat or voice command with Comcast, which actually works really well. But Forte, were you the one talking about the Roku app?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a TCL.
I have a TCL too. I have the 605.
Yeah, me too.
Love it.
That TV's awesome.
Is that which size is that? The 55 or 60?
55, yeah.
55 inch. So good.
That's what I think Luca has the same exact model.
I think we have the same TV.
Yeah,
you got it did you get it from Best Buy?
Yes.
I did. Yep.
Yeah, it's Best Buy because that's the only one you can get from Best Buy.
Yeah, I got it last December. I got it.
I got it in November.
So good.
I got mine in March, but it was pretty I waited until I saw ratings talk about the new TCLs, and even they were saying that the P series from last year was better.
Still better.
So, yeah, I was like, oh well, guess what I'm getting.
Hey, did you pick up TCL?
Yeah, I got that, and then like a couple weeks later, I picked up the 900E.
Yep, same here. I got the. Yep, that's the messed up thing because I got the TCL in October when I knew the Xbox was coming. I said I got to get my TCL, and then my wife gave me the green light to go out for Christmas to get the 900E to put in the living room. And I'm not gonna lie, if you put those TVs right next to each other, you will see a difference between that 900E and that TCL. That TCL is good, but man, that 900E.
That 900E is special.
That 900E is special, man. And I got it for $1,000 too, instead of the $1,400 that it was. Oh my God, that's a beautiful looking TV.
Yeah,
I was contemplating last year. Enrique knows this because I was going to get the OLED, the LG OLED B7.
Yeah, I was
going back and forth.
They had it on sale for like $1,600 for the 55 inch.
Yeah, and I was going to get it, and then that 900E was like $1,000 like that same week. I was just like, fuck it, I'm getting 900E.
And ratings had that TV as the best TV in its price range for 2017.
Yeah.
I was like, gotta go with it. But no, man, it's I would never play games on that night. Well, I mean, you can play games on the night because the input lag is like 32 milliseconds, but the TCL is just so much better. It's like 7.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. The input lag is ridiculous on that TCL. It's nice.
Right, 7, and it looks just as good as it doesn't look as good, but it's close enough that you won't notice it unless they're sitting next to each other.
Yeah, that input lag is awesome on TCL. TCL is blowing up, man.
Hey, big Quiet Gamer says your wife gives you permission? Question mark. Really?
Oh yeah, she gave it to me, man.
Hey,
I don't do anything without my wife's permission.
The rules of engagement: happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. That's right, how you stay married for 8 years.
And that's how you get shit. You know what I mean?
That's how I got my PS4.
Yeah, and that's how you get other things, which we can't talk about. Which Lucas says 13-year-olds shouldn't be doing, by the way. Which I think she caught grief for.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
Enrique, are you saying that your wife could get it?
Yeah, of course she can.
I think everyone.
Enrique got like 30 kids, so his wife has got it.
Oh, you trying? Yeah. Trying to say because I'm Latino that I have lots of kids.
Oh my gosh!
I see how it is, Slow-Mo.
You basically trying to say you got a bunch of people living in one house.
Yeah, basically. You trying to say I live in Falls Church, aren't you, Slow-Mo?
Oh.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
Some of those are false churches.
Yeah.
That must be a DC thing.
It is a DC thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like to go back to what we were talking about with
13-year-olds having sex. What?
No, not that part. When we talking about casuals, how the Scarlet Cloud streaming box could be really good for casuals. I actually told a friend of mine who is a super casual gamer, like he's always asking me about games, like what's this Fortnite stuff about? I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, you're a casual if you don't know that.
Yeah, so he's got an Xbox One. He bought like the 4 gig one that came out, like that SKU that was just like, what are you doing?
What you think, Xbox One or Xbox 360?
I'm sorry, 360. That's what
I'm
I'm
about to say, man. If there's a 4 gig Xbox One out there, how much was that?
Yeah, so
that was free, man.
Like a 360 SKU that was like 4 gigs. He wouldn't jump on it. I was like, no, it's too late. You bought it. All right, whatever. Yeah. But so he asked me about. No, I'm sorry. I told him about this streaming app, and he was like, oh, I'm getting that right now. Like he was going online. I was like, no, it's not out yet. It's like 2020. But I'm like, what do you think about that? And he was like, man, I will buy that immediately. He reminds me of like my Roku. He pointed at his Roku. He was just like, yeah, I would do that. And I'm like, that's who Microsoft is making this for. That's when they talk about, they said that they
who they're making it
like
for,
all
man.
these
Come
additional
on.
billion gamers coming into the gaming community.
I think they're hoping for an additional million.
Oh yeah, but that's who they're like.
They're trying to attract. Yeah, they're trying to broaden.
They're trying to attract that guy. And Forte said something that was really super accurate. Their marketing needs to work because this is the same dude.
Accurate?
Yeah, for once, right?
Wow.
A broken clock is right 2 times a day. So
unfortunately, this clock is right every day of the week, though.
Anyway, so this is the same dude
heard him when
that
he was trying to defend the Switch, but okay.
I did it successfully too.
If by successfully you mean you failed, then you failed.
You failed miserably. Anyway, let me finish my point.
That's because I was being double teamed by 2 of my friends.
Hey, you guys can get into it. So all I gotta say, this is the same guy that did not know that there was a Game Pass. And when I told him what Game Pass was, and I showed him all the games in Game Pass, he signed up. So like, Microsoft has a huge marketing issue. They come out with stuff and then they don't market it to the right people.
Because all the stuff that they come out with is stuff that's marketed towards their existing customers.
Yeah.
Hey, Slow-Mo, hold on real quick. I just want to give a big shout out to all the DMV gamers. You see this?
Yeah, man.
We got Sugar Man's in Bailey's Crossroads. Quiet Gamer is in Arlington. OBJ the Don's actually in Maryland, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. DMV.
Yeah, man. We need to get together and do one of those like those old school, like when you get a little Switch and you get like 4 TVs and 4 old Xboxes, and then you would like play Halo all night. Well, we ain't gonna do that.
Y'all know y'all too damn grown for that.
Yeah, we too old for that. But I'm just saying, I just kind of want to like, like just smash y'all and some.
I can't can't even get you guys to go play Halo anymore.
Yo, we can't even get Enrique to play Halo with us. He always be like, "Yeah, I'll be on." Never showed up.
He never shows up.
I think Enrique's scared.
I never got an invite. That's all I gotta say. And I'm back on Destiny 2, by the way.
We invited you all the time. What are you talking about?
I didn't get the invite on Xbox Live. Is what I'm trying to say.
We would send you messages, but you wouldn't respond. Bench. Like, what are you talking about?
Man, I don't remember getting those messages.
Look, man, you can't run for those receipts, man.
Oh my God, Luca pulled a receipt on me. It was so bad, and it was audio too at that from like a podcast. It was bad.
It was pretty amazing.
That's almost as good as that audio she put up on fucking AGS a couple weeks ago.
Oh man, I tell you what, Luca, that was amazing. That was amazing that you pulled that. That was funny.
Well, my thing is, and I teach this to my kids all the time. My kids all the time is that you should, before you make any statements, even if you're just talking generally and stuff, make sure you have the proof in your back pocket before you say anything. People dig their own graves, you know what I mean? So, what's your Xbox Live handle, Enrique?
Aries.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah, we're connected. Yeah, but I'm back on Destiny 2. If you guys want to run Destiny 2, I'll run Destiny 2.
Private matches.
I'll play some Destiny 2 Crucible. I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I don't, you know how my stance is with giving Bungie more money, but I've already paid for the game. So
you might as well pay, man.
Dude, just go ahead and give them $20 for the season for the DLC, man.
I tried to convince him, man. He said he ain't down, man.
Dude, $20 is not bad, man.
Look for all the DLC. Having the Forsaken changes it up so much, and then now you got to go out and buy a $60 version of the game to get it.
Sucks to suck.
It does suck. Hey, real quick, I just want to, before we wrap up tonight, we had one more topic. Epic Games worth $8 billion now because of Fortnite.
Yep,
they made $2 million off of mobile a day, and the game's not even on Android yet.
Exactly. Are you serious? $2 million.
It just got announced that it's coming to Android. And it hasn't even.
Oh my God. Slow-Mo was saying today that he thinks it's a fad. It's going to die out.
No, wait.
That's what Slow-Mo. That's what you said in the DM. You said it's a fad. It's going to die out.
Fortnite's not going anywhere no time soon.
I didn't say like tomorrow.
Yeah,
I said in a couple years that the game won't be the most popular game in the world anymore, and so at some point I think.
Did you did you say it exactly like that?
Yeah.
Or are you adding your own flavor text to it now that you're getting called out?
Flavor text.
Ooh, flavor text.
Pull up the DMs and take some screenshots. Don't show anything personal, obviously.
I mean, I can go back to our Twitter chat and actually quote what I said.
Go back.
And I'll say as I'm looking and going back,
he's got to go back. He's got to repeat what he said earlier.
Well, I never remember what I say. So,
but what all I was saying was that at some point it's not going to be the most popular game in the world, and that but they've made so much money off this game. I don't think Epic is going to operate like how they used to operate. Like, I don't think they'll be making more games. I think they're probably like, now that they're that big, they may switch to being a publisher or just kind of market their Unreal Engine a little bit more. They already market it pretty well. I mean, so many games use it, but I don't think they would, continue to make games the way they used to, because they had some other games that just they're dead now. All they do is Fortnite.
So what season do you think it's going to make it to before it dies?
He said 2020 it's going to be dead.
Wow.
I didn't say dead. See, Enrique be just exaggerating.
I mean, we thought Call of Duty was going to die many times over. And you actually got to pay for that game.
Yeah, let me go back.
I just think it's hard to say that a game's going to die when it's free to play and they make $1 billion a month on that game.
All they got to do is keep it fresh.
And that's what they do. Every 3 months, they change up the seasons, and it's a whole nother. Yeah. And the one thing I will congratulate them on is they do such a good job of weaving a narrative story into a game that had no story. like this whole fracture of two worlds and worlds colliding and having these different environmental changes popping up and story beats happening and real stuff happening in the real world, like burgers being found in the Sahara Desert and stuff like that. That's freaking crazy what they're doing with that game.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like, okay, Fortnite. So like with the whole new DLC, well, not DLC, but the whole new update, it's called Fracture of Two Worlds, or Worlds Colliding, and they have certain elements of the game that show up in the real world, like if you go to certain like landmarks in Fortnite, like the Burger Town and stuff, that have like the mascot for the burger. They actually found that mascot inside of a desert in the world. They actually took screenshots. It was actually on the Reddit and everything. So they implemented that. They had people, people opening up mailboxes, like the big UPS mailboxes, and llamas sitting inside of them.
What?
Yeah, dude, they're going all out with this like interaction between real world and game world.
Oh, that's wild.
So I mean, and you can do something like that when you're making $1 billion a day or a month.
That's true. But I found the conversation. So at no point did I say Fortnite was going to be dead in 2 years. I didn't say it was going to be dead, period. This is Enrique with his lies.
So what did you say?
I don't lie.
I said, okay, so I
don't lie.
I posted the link. Matter of fact, Luca,
your son is
your lies like weeks ago.
Luca, can you got to correct your son here. He's out of line.
No.
He's out of line.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I raise my kids to speak up when there's bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Like, first of all, how dare you accuse my son of saying something he didn't say?
Now you're claiming.
Hold on. Before you say that, Enrique, did you notice as Dad was coming to the rescue and backing her son? He didn't say a one word about him being his father.
He accepted it. He accepted it.
What happened in the chat? And
you accepted it. Admit it.
No, he always accepts it when I'm defending him.
You didn't. You just sat there and literally, dude, just break down and just say it's true.
No, and this is going to the chat. I'm going to what I.
Luca, you can still have. I mean, not Luca. You can still have your grown man life. You're still a grown man. We understand you're still a man, but you have a father that loves you and will always back you 100%. Don't be afraid to embrace that.
Anyway, this is what I wrote. I said I could see them becoming a major publisher and switching their focus from making games to publishing games and simply providing tools like Unreal Engine to other devs after the Fortnite hype dies down. That's literally what I just said a couple minutes ago.
God damn, Villain said.
I think they made that statement like 2 years ago, Slow-Mo. That they were like, say again? I think they made that statement like 2 years ago that they were basically like Fortnite was going to be like the last game that they put out, and they were backing away from game development and wanted to get into publishing.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense because I can't remember what the other game was. I wasn't playing it, but they shut down
Paladins.
Paladins. They shut down work on Paladins, and they folded all of those devs into the Fortnite team.
You're talking about the PlayStation game, not Paladins. You talking about the other?
Oh no, not Paladins. What is the name of that PlayStation game? It was called. It started with a P too, didn't it?
You sure it's not
Paragon?
No, it's not Paragon. That's
Paragon. That's it.
Paragon, yeah. There you go. Thank you, Luca.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dad. Really.
Hold on, Luca. What were you saying earlier?
I'm sorry that I interrupted B. Supervillain was like, Slow-Mo, bro, you gave up. And I have to say, Villain has called me his mother and father several times. So I don't know why he's even coming at you, but okay.
I did not give up.
I don't think
have time to address this whole
Slow-Mo.
I don't think it's a problem with it. Just if you accept the fate of what's going on, you'll be fine.
Subconsciously, he got quiet. You see that?
He did. He shut up.
He was like a quiet cub.
A quiet cub.
He got quiet. You see what happened?
He's my little whoop.
I came at him
because I am exposing Enrique's lies now.
Wait, but father came in like a good cub. You slid behind father, and you were quiet.
Look, man, I can't even.
I'm not condoning this shenanigans.
You don't have to condone it. It happened. We all heard it. We witnessed it. We witnessed you admitting the truth.
You know what? I think Slow-Mo secretly likes being the person that wants to be the defiant one. Just like he doesn't want to accept that he has a doll sitting at home with an Xbox One that was named after him.
God damn, we're still talking about this, man.
We're still talking about this doll thing.
I think this is all. I think this is all tied together.
Forte, I don't want to hear it. Where the receipts at?
Oh man, I seen it in a Twitter post. I can go pull it back up. It had your name on it.
You saw it in a Photoshop Twitter post. That's not.
I don't know. I didn't know that was Photoshop. How do I know Photoshop?
Get your eyes checked.
Oh.
Get your eyes checked. Hey, Luca, real quick. I just want to say that you have some interesting conversations on Twitter at times.
I killed someone today. It was so amazing.
And today was one of them when you said that 13-year-old children should not be having kids.
Well, okay, because basically what happened was, okay, I'm gonna read this interaction with you because it was so amazing. Like, honestly, as soon as he responded to my post, I responded initially. I was like, this is gonna be so much fun, and then I started quoting him, and it was just a roller coaster of amazingness. But let me go and find it because it was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
We totally just got off gaming, but that's all right.
Let's see here. So. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is what he said. He said, okay, this is what I said, all right? This is what I said. I said, I hate people who decide to have a kid, but don't actually put forth the effort to raise them properly. It's actually pretty disgusting. If you're not emotionally, financially, and mentally ready to have a child, wrap it up, or if anything, give the kid to people who are ready. And then this guy's like, okay, and he uses the wrong "your," by the way, but he's like, you're a real ignorant lady. LOL, this comment is ruthless. Go bark your shit in India or third world countries. What, did you read a bad article on Facebook today? Thought you seemed smart today? I'm sorry, but straight up savage you are. Hey, people, give up your kids. And then I was just like, you used the wrong "your," stupid.
I saw that. You're like, maybe your parents should have spent more time teaching you how to use. And
then, he was like, oh god, okay. So then he was like, oh my god, this is what he said. So he was like, I'm sorry to be rude, and that's not me, but common. He didn't say come on. He said common. Don't post that shit to streamer and viewers. Go make a difference if you want change. People do the best they can. My parents were 13 and 14, and I'm doing amazing in life. Had an amazing life, but were they ready? And then I was just like, you meant to say come on, but you said common. Maybe your parents should have finished middle school before having you so they could have taught you the difference between words. Like, it was good, man. It was really good. I had so much fun with this guy. And I just want to say shout out to him because I really appreciate his stupid ass comments because I had a good chuckle from it.
My God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I thought it was. I was like, when he said what he said, I was like, this guy he has no idea what he's getting himself into.
I know.
He has no idea. He has no idea.
It's so great.
Yeah, Chief in the chat said, "Why would you entertain that?" And I said, just told him because she loves playing with her food.
That's a nice response.
Yeah, because that was I at some point when she kept retweeting and then just destroying him. I just had to put the gif in of just like that Simpsons gif where it's just like the kids like, stop, he's already dead. Like it was just like, this is terrible. Like
it was bad. It was
after she told him you use common instead of come on, and he kept replying with common. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Do you not educate? Do you not like what is happening to you here?
He made it worse for himself, and he kept coming back for more.
I told him, I was like, dude, all you're doing is making yourself look bad. Like, come on, like, common. And then one of my friends responded. He was like, well, all he's done is prove why 13 and 14-year-olds shouldn't have kids.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Erica's tweet was hilarious when she actually tweeted a picture of Common, the rapper, and she was like, "Look, I think he's talking about him." Oh my gosh! Just it's just not a good idea to come for Luca, I guess.
I do have a question for Luca. Your question on marriage, how did that come up? Did someone say something to you, or is that just something you were thinking about?
I didn't say anything about marriage.
No, I'm talking about when you was the conversation you started on Twitter about people being married and stuff.
I didn't say anything about marriage.
What did you say?
I said that people shouldn't have kids before they're ready.
Let me go look at this Twitter report.
Oh, I think it was kids like 13, 14, right? Or was it just not ready?
I said in general, I'm like, don't have kids when you're not ready. And I actually got a couple people responding to me bringing up marriage. And I'm like, I was like, link me to where I said anything about marriage. 10 minutes later. So, I mean, I guess you didn't say anything about marriage, but, I was like, what do you
No, it wasn't about marriage. It was just like people who aren't.
Comprehension skills, people, please develop them.
Oh my goodness. That was interesting. That was an interesting conversation.
Twitter is always funny.
Yeah.
If you want to find something to laugh at, just go to Twitter and watch people.
People were going nuts today, harassing who is it? Ninja Theory about Hellblade not being on PSVR.
I mean, they answered. They said that they are building it for high-end PCs, right?
Yeah, that was it. They're like, we're building for high-end, and people were going, people were losing their minds. Oh, you're fucking giving in to Microsoft, or I'm like, oh my god, this is
how?
What VR does Microsoft license?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And Microsoft doesn't have control over that game. That was a game that was produced prior to them even purchasing them. That has nothing to do with Microsoft.
And they probably was working on that before Microsoft purchased them. So
yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So just another example of fanboys going crazy.
Yeah.
As Slow-Mo did earlier in the podcast when we're talking about the Division.
Here we
Such
go.
a Ubisoft fanboy.
You are an Ubisoft fanboy.
We not going to do two Destiny fanboys are not going. Not you, Luca, but Forte and Enrique not going to call me a fanboy. And they fanboy.
I'm not a Destiny fanboy. I appreciate good content.
And the Division has good content.
Okay.
And apparently you like being lied to.
Lied to by who?
Bungie.
Oh my god! I'm not doing this.
Oh yeah. This is denial. I'm not doing this. We just basically just stick your fingers in your ear and just go nah. This is what all Destiny fans do whenever people remind them how Bungie lied to them in order to get them to purchase stupid whatever that stuff is.
All I gotta say is Metacritic.
We'll see. You're gonna owe me a 6-pack too.
That's all I gotta say is Metacritic.
Wait, what are we talking about? The Division?
Yeah.
Me and Enrique made a bet, and the bet is if the Division 2 has a higher Metacritic score than Destiny 2, then he owes me a 6-pack of Fat Tire. It's a beer.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll see. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the podcast because I don't want to talk about.
Wait a minute, I got receipts.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on.
So Luca 24 hours ago said, overheard guys at work talking about how marriage is a drag and they chained down by their wives and can't do anything they want. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership. I know plenty of happy married guys. Why are you breathing
so deeply? Would you run to the
yes, I did. I had to hurry up and run before the show ended. I know plenty of happy married guys who don't feel that way. Sucks that your marriage sucks.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't remember. I don't typically respond to tweets 24 hours later, but okay. What were you asking me about it?
No, I just said that. I just asked you, what did that come up? But then I actually read the message. Now I know. Never mind.
Okay.
But I pulled receipts. I had to make sure. I said, "Man, this girl said something about marriage."
But he ran so fast.
I did too. I said, "Where's my phone?"
Where did you run? Oh, to get your phone?
I had to go get my phone. My computer's apart right now because we're building it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A bunch of a couple guys at work were just talking, and mind you, one of the guys who was talking to this other guy, he's married with kids, and this guy has been flirting with me for a bit. So, and ever since I found out he was married, I was like, I gotta go. They were just talking about how like wives are a drag, and your wife like forces you to like do stuff, and you don't have a life anymore, and you're chained down. I'm like, why did you get married to them though?
Oh my gosh. All right. I mean, look, we have fun, on this podcast, but I'm 1000% serious here. Marriage is what you make of it.
Exactly.
Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And sometimes some women in marriages can be a drag, but you have to you have to look yourself in the mirror and make sure that you are stepping up and doing everything that you need to do in this marriage to make it work. If she is giving you feedback that she's not happy about stuff, you should take that to heart. Maybe she has a point. Maybe you're not right all the time. The marriage is about compromise, and if you're not compromising some things that you want for the for your spouse's benefit, why would you think she would do the same for you? It's not easy, and it's not for everyone. But if you get into the marriage, you need to know that going in, so that so you can make things work. Especially when you start getting kids. Like, I could go on, but I'm not going to. I'm just saying that just people need to look in the mirror sometimes. And if your wife is nagging you, at least she's doing that. Some women don't do that. They just don't say anything, and they go off and do their own thing when you're not around. So
yeah, I only know like one person who is a total nut job, and who I could like understand people bitching about her. So,
what was that laugh?
Because I'm being messy right now, that's why. But yeah.
All right, Slow-Mo. Well, thank you for that advice to all those married couples out there. Slow-Mo is wise when it comes to marriage, not so wise when it comes to video games.
So I will take the half compliment.
Yes. So on that note, we're going to head and wrap up this evening's Brad podcast. Thank God I didn't lose my voice this evening.
Aw, it's so cute.
Yeah, it's been a couple
Keith in
weeks,
the chat really tried it with me, guys, and then all he could give me back was a whatever.
Oh, he has you blocked on Twitter?
No, apparently I blocked him. I'm pretty sure I blocked him like 6 months ago, and he still brings it up. So clearly I hurt his feelings or something. So anything he says to me or about me or any of that stuff, I never take it seriously because he's feeling some sort of way about me blocking him or him blocking me, whichever. So it's fun though.
All right. But yeah, so thank you everyone in the live chat for stopping by this evening and hanging out with us as we talked about, as we continued our the Division and Destiny debate. Look, Gaming Forte made some excellent points about Destiny 2 being better than Division. Slow-Mo, not so much. But Gaming Forte, man, thanks for joining us again this week, man. Definitely appreciate you coming back on again.
Oh man, I'm always here if you need me.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. And hey, man, best of luck to you in the new PC. Hopefully everything goes well.
Oh, we're already having problems. One of the fans on the PC aren't working, and we're trying to figure that out right now.
Oh, shit. All right, man. Luca, thank you for joining us later on the podcast. Always a pleasure having you on. It was actually nice to see Slow-Mo finally admit that you're his father.
That did not happen. This is Enrique with the lies. It's okay.
Luca, do we need to pull the audio of this?
I mean, he just didn't say anything, so
he submitted.
Oh, okay. Silence isn't admitted, huh?
Yes, he submitted. That's what Cubs do.
That's what Cubs do.
So, but no, seriously, Luca, thank you again for coming. Are you guys doing Scumcast this weekend?
Yes.
All right. What time is that? 12 p.m. Central Time?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Definitely check out Scumcast, everyone. It's a great show. Great show. Slow-mo, always a pleasure, man.
Always, man. It's always a good time.
Yeah, always a good time. And B Money, man. Always a pleasure, man. Let's hop on Destiny 2. Not tonight, but tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Just hit me up.
Yeah, hit me up. I'll go into Crucible with you and show you what it is.
Nice.
If y'all doing Crucible, I'm down. Tomorrow's about. Well, let me know. I might be available.
All right, man. Sounds good. So, all right, everyone. Good night. We'll be back next Wednesday.
Everyone. Bye, Chief. Kisses.
You just made everybody
savage.
Everybody in the chat is happy now.
Lucas so savage. All right, so we'll be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Virtual kisses.
Yeah, virtual kisses. Gonna try to get David Jaffe on next week, so gotta keep you posted. Peace.
Later.